Welcome back to Freedom Algo, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hold on, something's not. I don't see that. Sean, thanks for that. I agree. I hope everyone is blessed today. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. KP, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Let me see here. All right. Trying to move some stuff around. Sorry that I'm a couple minutes late. You know me. You know me. You know me. Daryl, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, fam. All right, so everybody, how was your weekend? We'll get into all this. Was jamming to... Wait, hold on, John. I don't know what this is. Was jamming Faceless Man? That commercial kicked in super loud. Classic. Classic. I didn't put a ad up, so I don't know. Let me make sure that it's not on automatic, because if it's on automatic, it'll start putting ads in weird spots. Let me go check that. Hang on. I'm gonna double check to make sure that it's not on automatic mode, because if it is, okay, good, it's not. Because I don't want it to start throwing a bunch of weird ads all over the place. I only like it to show ads if there's a if like I need to take a break for a second, or you know, if I'm waiting for some responses or something like that, because it's annoying if it just puts ads in everyone's face. It's a really weird user experience the way that works. Oh, always one when you start. Oh, yeah. I'm a little tired today, to be honest with everybody. I'm a little tired. I went to a concert last night, and this is very out of character for me to do that. Like, it was very out of character for me to disrupt my routine. But this is I got my shirt on right now. Shai Hulud, one of my favorite hardcore bands, was playing last night, and they were playing in Portland, Oregon. So I went, and it's pretty far from me, so I had to drive back last night, and I didn't get home till pretty late, like midnight. And if you know me, you know I go to sleep between 9 and 10. Like, it's rare for me to even stay up till 10:30 at night. So I went to sleep at like midnight, and I still woke up at 5 in the morning. So I'm pretty tired. But hey, you know, that's what it is. If you're here, smash up the likes. Definitely subscribe. Good to have everybody here. The day is kind of funny today, because we had this big run up, sideways action, and then a run down. But it's actually a pretty slow day overall. The price action is printing pretty slow. There's not a ton of bars in the regular market session. So it's pretty slow action, and just not overall the best price action day, but some decent trades. So let's get into them. So basically, we had this uptrend this morning. It was almost like a double channel. It looks like this. So there's a gap on the chart from last week down here, this brown line. That's where we closed last week. And if you zoom out and look at Friday, it was kind of a weird day, because throughout the week we had been trending all the way down. We sort of bottomed out on Friday, and then we ran all the way up. And then after that, we had a gap up, and we moved up, and we're trying to fill that gap now, but we're pretty far away from it still. So this morning we kind of had this channel. It sort of looks like a tight channel, close outside, new high, and then a second channel that moves up. There's a little flatter channel here, close outside, and then eventually a new high, and then it kept going. So I drew a slightly wider channel here, like this, and it's decent, but I wouldn't call it the best. So what you'd really want to be doing in here is playing the range. So in the overnight, you know, you get this one, you get a little channel down, close outside, new low, triple test off that level. Then we come up and get a triple test off the high. So both of those are valid setups. they're not perfect because they're just first entries. It's not super convincing here. Like you might have a channel up. Like it's not the most convincing price action. There's no higher low or lower high setup or anything. There's not that many touches on the low side here. This is really just your third touch. This one is a little better because you have 4 touches up here, but you're shorting in like an overall bullish bias, so it's a little bit dangerous. Then it comes down, moves up, breaks out the high side, and looks like a failed breakout at first. Gives you a lower high, but it's closing above the level. So at this point, you have a clue that we're probably going to succeed in this breakout because the failed breakout here didn't actually fail all the way, and the lower high closed above. So there's no short there. It's closing above the level. So that gives you a clue that we might actually succeed in the breakout. So then what happens is you get a second entry long that is also a trap because a lot of people try to short this lower high, but that's a dumb move because it's closing above the range level. So why would you short there? That's just a dumb move. And so they get trapped. So when they get trapped and it bounces off the EMA and kind of confirms this flatter channel line, I think that that's a pretty decent little long. It's not the best ever because you don't know for sure that the breakout's going to succeed, but it is kind of like a breakout pullback to some extent. It's really a second entry long and a trap. It's okay, but none of these are great. I skipped all 3 of those. So then we run up, all the way up. Finally, we reverse here, and then we get a first entry, second entry long that fails. You're not really looking to take that right away. I mean, it's in a down channel. You got to wait. You get this move, close outside, new low. Then it reverses up, but it doesn't make it to the highs. And I don't think you want to take the second entry short here. I think it's dangerous. You're not off the highs yet, so you just got to watch all this stuff. And then it's just grinding. We fail off the high side. We don't make a new high again. Still, I don't think you want to take anything in here. You get a first entry, second entry long, no signal bar. First entry, second entry short, but not a good signal bar either, even though it's a kind of a triple test. Then you get this one that does make the new high, but if you pick that top, you're playing with fire, and it's a doji. So you don't get a lower high or anything, so you just have to watch this go too. If you got a lower high here, that would have been pretty nice, but you don't. Then you get a first entry. I don't know if you call that a failure, but that's just weird. A weird spot. It's kind of like an inside bar stuff, so you just kind of can't really take anything there. You got to wait, and then it just shoots down through all the levels. Now, finally, I get my trade here. Pulls back, gives us a first entry, pulls back, gives us a second entry short. Right off this key entry point of the trend line, confirming that trend line down. Really nice setup. You got room to the lows. Just an easy trade overall. So that's an easy one. What we waited for all morning. Took a while. Alright. I think it's fixed. I think it's fixed. Maybe. It looks... I'm going to wait a second here. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It looks like it might be fixed. I'm just going to wait a second, though. I'm going to wait a second here. Yeah, I just had to... I don't know. Sometimes it's just for no reason at all. I have to close the streaming software and reopen it. I have no idea. So I think it's fine now. I think we're good. Yeah, it looks good. The frames look like they're pretty good. Okay, sweet. So yeah, sorry about that. Somebody tell me in the chat, where did it start to go bad? Did you hear me talk about this second entry properly? Because I want to make sure I repeat myself if it got messed up around that level. And John, good to see you in here, by the way. Good to see you. All right, so let me know in the chat. Where did I... Okay, you heard me talk about the second entry. Okay, cool. So yeah, so easy trade. There's the lower high here was not good because there's an inside bar next to it, so you can't take any lower high. You don't want to take a lower high there anyway, though, because the second entry has basically played out, and it doesn't have enough room to the lows, really. I mean, Debatable, but I wouldn't take that I wouldn't take the lower high after the second entry short. You'd take the second entry, but you don't want to take that lower high. Now, if this lower high formed a little higher, then it probably would have been decent, but it just didn't. Comes down, you get a close outside new low on this channel. Then we get this move up. Now, this was a little bit interesting. This was a little bit interesting here. So, you're running up, and you get a first entry short, and then a second entry short, and it looks really good. The only thing, though, is that, let's zoom out real quick, because this is a good learning opportunity, and some people in the paid school community asked me about this when it was happening in real time, and I want to make sure I address it. So, one of the challenges here is, here, wait, give me 1 second. I gotta get some tea, and then I'm gonna talk about this. I need to get a refill. Your boy's tired. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. I am back. Okay, so if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, everybody. Let's get this stream out to more people. So if you zoom out here, here's the thing. This lower high formed this down channel that already got a close outside and a new low. This wider channel that I had drawn, you have 1, 2 swings. So this is going to make the third swing, but you don't know for sure that it's going to continue, right? Because it could easily touch this level, come down, do like a higher low, and just keep going higher. And it ends up not really being a very confirmed channel right there, the wider one. You don't know for sure. You're above the EMA. It's the first time that you've been above the EMA. You don't know for sure that we're not reversing here after this close outside new low on the short term. Now, if we didn't get a close outside new low on the short term down channel here, then I would have liked this short more. But we already had a close outside new low, so this could be a reversal, and we could come all the way back up. We're also really close to this area that we broke through without ever coming back to test, this previous range low. So it's highly possible to get another leg up there. So I think when you get the close outside new high after the short-term uptrend, you might get one more leg. So you either need the lower high to be that second leg attempt failing, or you need the new high altogether, like a third entry almost. So what I see here, not that we don't trade third entries typically, by the way. Like, that's not what I mean. I just mean that you need to have 2 legs. Like, after the close outside, a lot of times you get 2 legs to a new high, not 1. A lot of times you get 2, or you get like 1 leg and then a lower high, whatever. So what I saw when I was looking at this, I drew this blue line on here to show you. So we have a first entry, second entry short. Now, to me, even if you draw this channel like this, and this is a close outside, that's not a very convincing one. That's why I drew this blue line on here to show you like how close that is, right? Like, I could easily have had my up channel very slightly wider, and it's not really a close outside. It's not an obvious one. Now, if this candle was like a big red candle that closed on its low all the way down here, then it's an obvious close outside. But it's not an obvious close outside here. So if I remove this here, I could easily draw my channel like that. And then this right here is inside the channel, and you'd be shorting inside the channel. So I know some people may have taken the short here as a second entry short off of the channel. I just think it's risky. And I don't think, I wouldn't take this unless this was a more obvious close outside. Then I would at least give it a yellow. But it's not to me. So, but then when you do get this lower high, then it's more reasonable. Because now it also looks like a trap, because you have a pullback first entry equal low. And this is kind of like a second entry long failing. It's not really where you take a failure, but it is like a lower high. The thing is, though, the low, it's moved pretty far already. Like, I mean, this thing moved 4.5 points already. So you're taking some risk there, taking a lower high after that. However, the second entry hasn't played out. It hasn't broken this low and broken the first entry low. And you've got plenty of room there. So you took that. That's a decent one. Then it comes down. Now, we do get a closeout. Now, if you can widen this channel here, but still, I think this is looking like a closeout side to me at this point. So you got to close outside. It comes down, tries to make a low again, and now we're getting pretty close to these lows. And there is a first entry, second entry short right here, but I don't think you want to take that because if you measure this to this swing low, you don't really have enough room for a scalp, and you just had congestion right there. So to me, this looks like some congestion. So it looks like pullback, first entry, congestion. And then a lot of times with congestion, it'll fail out of both sides. So it's just not really a good setup. You're taking a second entry short right after congestion. I just don't think you want to take that. Not a clear two-legged correction. It just looks like a micro congestion range there. So it's not really two-legged correction for me. That's how I saw this. So no setup there. And again, that's why we don't take every second entry. We just don't do it. Oh, John, I missed your comment. You said you didn't take that one because you really saw it. Yeah, exactly. The inside channel. Exactly. All right. And then we get the closeout side. This is the more obvious closeout side of the channel here. Moves to a new low. So this all has played out. We have a new low in place there. So at this point now, we can track this level here as a possible support. Maybe. Does this line up to anything over here? No, not really. It's a possible support zone. Maybe. We got to be patient here. Let me just map this out. And I will get to that question that I just saw in a second. Let me just map this out and see if there's any ways to draw this. You could look at this as a close outside. A couple legs to a new high. So it's going sideways here. We're not really making a new swing highs or anything. So just be patient. All right. So, okay. So Lucid, thanks for the question. So you're wondering, can we still do a one-to-one risk reward, the ATR, instead of scalping only 1 point? Okay, so, well, you can do anything. Not to say that it's going to guarantee it works. All right, so let me just try to see if I can address this. All right, so the way I trade is like this. When I take a short, let's say, like when I took this short this morning, this candle is 14 ticks, okay? So I'm entering 1 tick below the signal bar, and my stop loss is going 1 tick above. So that's 16 tick stop loss. That is 4 points. So I'm going to have a 4-point stop loss on that trade. Now, if I want to go for a 4-point profit, I would have gotten it here. Yes, I would have. Now, I could do that, right? I could do that. The problem is this. Understand how the ATR functions. Look at the ATR. Right now, the ATR is about a 3. So, my scalp target is not just 1 point. My scalp target is around half of the current ATR. So right now, my take profit would be 1.5 points because of the ATR. Now, the reason for that is that I'm not entering on the absolute edge of the move. I'm entering with the momentum. So if I'm entering short right here, well, the market's already moved like almost 4 points when I enter it in the direction I'm taking the trade. I can't expect it to go another 4 points every time, right? I can expect it to travel about half the ATR though, because the markets are efficient, and they'll typically do that because they'll slingshot back and forth within the ATRs. So you'll see that happen. If it moves to one extreme, it might move 4 points to the other extreme, maybe, but it's at least going to move half when you are reading the scalp properly. That's just the efficiency of the market. So that's why I go for half the ATR for my scalp. So if the market was moving slower and my ATR was lower, then maybe I would only go for a point. If it's higher, maybe I'd be going for 2 points or 2.5 points. It just depends. But no, I'm not going to trade with a 1-to-1 the only way to do that would be if I enter on limit orders and I wait and I miss trades, right? So the way that you would do that is like this. Once the price breaks below and triggers the second entry, then what you could do is drop a limit order back here somewhere. Now, if you do that, let's say you drop a limit order right here, and it backs up and fills your limit order, and then you still put your stop loss in the same spot. Well, now you can have a 2.25 point stop loss. And then you could pretty easily go for 2.25 points, or even more if you wanted to. So limit orders will get you, if you want to go for a 1-to-1, limit orders will make it easier to do that for you. If you enter on stop orders, one tick below or above the bar, you're going to have a hard time going for 1-to-1, because now you just will have you will have losers every once in a while that go like, let's say your 1-to-1 was going for 4 points. You might only have the trade go 3 points in your favor and then back all the way up. And so that's the whole thing. If you were going for a scalp, you would have gotten filled. But if you're going for too big of a trade, you won't. Now, the limit order strategy does work. The only problem is sometimes the trade will just take off. Like this trade might just take off from there, and then you never get filled on your limit order and you have to cancel it. Don't let it come back and fill you if it's already traveled to your destination, right? Like in this one, for example, if you went short here, well, when it broke below, you never would have gotten filled, right? So after it breaks below, if you dropped your limit order back here, you never would have gotten filled. And you can't let it come back on these candles and fill you because it's already made the scalp target, and then you're just taking unnecessary risk. If you look at the other trades of the day, same thing. This one wouldn't have filled you if you tried to enter on a limit order. Neither would this one. This one depends on if how far your limit order was. Maybe if it was back here, you could have. But yeah, so it just depends on how you want to play it and what you're okay with. Are you okay with taking some losses even when you're right about the momentum because of the ATR and how big of a target you're going for? Are you okay with that? If the answer is yes, then yeah, sure thing. Go for 1-to-1. Are you okay with dropping a limit order and taking a 1-to-1 and missing some trades that don't come back and fill you? If the answer is yes, then by all means, you can do that too. I find that for me, scalping for half the ATR with a high win rate on a stop order is the least amount of stress for me, because I don't miss trades, and then I don't feel annoyed that I missed a trade because I was like being a little bit of like a miser about getting a couple extra ticks in my favor for the entry, right? And, you know, to me, it's like a fear greed analysis type of thing that you have to do. Like, you have to analyze, like, are you just being greedy, or is this because you're not right most of the time, or what is it? Personally, I like to just be patient and wait for a setup like this one, and that's what I did. I only took that one trade today. That's it. That's the one trade I wanted. That's the one trade I took. I was tired anyway, so I didn't really care. But you know, sometimes I'll just take one trade and be happy with that. And that's it. So good day overall for me. If I just take one trade, that's still a good day for me, because, like, you know, it's just how it is. I don't need to, like, you know, some people take too many trades. And I saw that earlier. KP, I saw your comment earlier. You said that you were trading on Sim and you took way too many trades. Yeah. Just be careful with that, you know. You got to train good habits. Train good habits. That's the thing. It sounds like you might still be a little bit tilted from some stuff that happened to you last week, and you're bringing it into the new week. So try to start fresh and try to really be patient and create good habits. Hopefully you're still here and you heard that. Lucid, you never thought about limit orders. You think half the ATR is the best for you too, even if one lost. Yeah, exactly. And that is true, Lucid. Like, if you take that 4 point, like I had a 4 point stop loss earlier. If I took a loss there, it would have sucked, you know? However, here's the thing. Like last week I had a trade. What day was it? Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday last week. And I had this trade on Wednesday last week where I basically got into the trade, got my scalp, and then my runner was a 7-point runner. So, like, that was almost a 7. I think it was like 6.75 points, right? That was awesome. That's like, when you get one of those, that's gonna erase a loser completely, because that's a big trade, right? So as long as you are trading with runners, this strategy works well. If you're not trading with runners, it can be hard, though. It can be hard. Daryl, yeah, I think that's true too. You tried going for 12 ticks and you didn't like sitting for so long. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. I had somebody a while back who did the same thing. I actually had I had somebody that was in my community that did something like that, Daryl, where they were going for 12 ticks, and the way they did it was when it went 8 ticks in their favor, they moved their stop to break even, and they were okay with a break even or getting 12 ticks. So they did that to help mitigate some of the damage. But then they started to tell me that they would get stopped out a lot at break even, and I was just like, well, do an analysis, because if you were just going for half the ATR scalping, you might be making more money than getting all these break evens or taking a loss because you were going for 12 ticks and all that. So it really depends on your personality and what your goals are and how big of a position size you're trading with. I will say this, if you're trading with a pretty small position size, like for example, let's say you have the capital to trade with 5 contracts, but it like feels like pretty intense. Well, if you're trading with then if you lower it down and you only trade with 1 contract, you might not feel that stressed about going for a bigger target. So it's up to you. Personally, I think having a high win rate is better for my psychology. So I just go for half the ATR as my scalp. That's the way I play it. And that's the thing, lately I haven't really even been going for 1 point because our ATR has been high enough that I can go for 5 ticks or 6 ticks or 7 ticks or even 8 or 9 ticks pretty often lately. It actually hasn't been dropping down to 4 ticks. Pretty much all last week, I was going for more than 4 ticks for the most part. I think the week before too as well. Now before that, it was getting low. The ATR was getting really low, and that was just a reality. So the market will change over time, and you just got to take what it's giving. All right, if you got questions, drop them in the chat, and I appreciate you. All right, so it looks like we're rallying here. Let's map out this price action and see where we're headed. Are we headed to finally test this level? Yep, we're testing the level. This was our previous area that I thought we were going to come back and test that we missed over here. From this low, there is a first entry, second entry. Is that a second entry short? I can't tell. 1050. No, not yet. No, I wouldn't be looking to short this right now anyway. You got to be patient here. This is a decent little rally. We can draw the wider channel as a possibility just to see if it fits. I don't know that it's going to fit really for us. It looks kind of janky. I mean, we might have something like that, but it looks super janky. So it just depends on how it reacts up here. So I'll draw these sometimes, even before they're confirmed, just to keep my eye on it. Doesn't mean that it's in play, but just to keep my eye on it, right? Just to keep my eye on it. We don't know for sure yet if that's going to play out. Now, if I have to keep dragging this thing and it ends up looking like this, then I'll just delete it because it's obviously not the channel to go with. You got to see what actually fits the price action, right? And see how this keeps on going higher. So we'll see if it starts to... I'll just delete it and then I'll redraw it. But I just want to show, sometimes I'll draw these little temporary channels on there, and that helps me keep my eye on how the price action could be developing. If there's a wider channel in play, you got to experiment as you go and see what's fitting the current price action for you. Hey, look, we only need 1 more subscriber to get to 6,300. Let's actually try to get 1 more subscriber. If we get 1 more subscriber, we're going to have a goal celebration. We haven't had a goal celebration on the channel in a long time. Now, if you're wondering here what I'm talking about, a few things. So, first of all, if you go into the chat or the description, you're going to see this. This is the school community. This is where I teach everything. It's $99 a month. However, I have a free 7-day trial. So I started doing the free trials because that feature became available, and I like the way it's set up. So you can join this 7-day free trial. When you're in here, you get access to the full course. The full course opens up after the trial, but I have other courses in there while you're on the trial. There's also 5 times a week live coaching streams. So Monday and Friday right now, I do on YouTube. That's what you're watching right now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do just in the community itself. So, and that format is in real time. So right now it's on Zoom and it's in real time. So it's a lot more personal and just easier. Like it's a little bit more of a teaching stream, that sort of thing. Same thing. We go over all the price action, all the trade setups. There's daily support, live chart updates throughout the entire session. There's a NinjaTrader toolkit and indicators you get access to once you become a full member after the trial. And there's a bunch of live calls, recordings, all that. There's a full calendar in here that shows you everything. You can see this here. Here, I'll change it to this view. So you can see, like, here's the public one we're on right now. You can see the Zoom one scheduled. You can see Friday is a public YouTube. Classrooms here. You can see the live coaching sessions right here. This is the one we're on right now. You can see the school exclusive ones. You can go back and watch these. Once you're in trial, you can actually check out all these. The full course is right here. You get access to that after the trial ends. But you still get the Start Here course while you're on there. There's a 4-hour course in here. You get this all while you're on the trial. There's a bunch of good videos in here. And you get access to the community tab. This is today's link where I go over all the trade setups. I chart everything all throughout the morning session before we go live so that you can follow along in real time. And you get all that while you're on the trial too. So anyway, definitely check it out. Start a free trial and see if you like it. See if it's a good fit for you if you've been thinking about it. Hey, and look at that. Look what just happened. We're going to have goal. We hit our goal. We got to over 6,300 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for getting us to the goal celebration. It's been a while since we did one of those. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do on the stream sometimes if we hit our goals. I didn't set a like goal today, but I should have. So everybody hit that like button. We'll do a second goal celebration if we get to 20 likes. We're going to set an easy goal just for fun, just to get the Monday vibe going. So if we get 7 more likes, we'll do one more goal celebration. But everybody put W's in the chat. Let's see if I can get some emojis here. Let's see, what do we got? We got trophy emojis. We got the trophies. Where's the goal? Where's my goal emoji? We got goals. Let's see. Got medals? Yeah, we got medals. There we go. Put them in the chat for you. All right. All right, let me see here. So, Lucid, you're wondering. You said you do wonder. Trainer Kai, oh, thank you for the W. W's in the chat, everybody. W's in the chat. Shout out to you. All right, so Lucid, you wonder about the probability of hitting the take profit at half ATR versus 1-to-1. All right, so here's how you test it. Here's an easy way to test it, okay? This question has come up before, so I'm going to give you the easy way to test it. Here's what you do. Go back and look at every trade that I mark on here. This is really easy. Take out the risk reward tool, right? Map out the short and leave it at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Okay? Now this is going to be a little bit of a manual process, but here's what you would do. You don't know what the ATR necessarily is at that time unless you put it on the chart. You can put the ATR on your chart. I use the 14 period ATR typically to find my take profit, or the 21. I use either one. So put the 14 period ATR on there, and then just look at what half the ATR is at that time for your scalp target, and just put it on the chart and go like this. Like, let's say it's however many ticks. and put it on there. And just measure, okay, that one would have worked, right? Then go over to the next one. Same thing. Risk reward tool. Put it on there. Stretch it out so you can see if it would have worked. Okay, would have worked there. And this is if you're entering one tick below the bar. Now, if you're doing a limit order, then I don't know how you're gonna have to do a little bit of a different test. Okay, risk reward. This is a long, so we're gonna go the other direction. That would have worked. Let's do risk reward. So I'm just showing you here, just as an example. That would have worked. And risk reward. That would have worked, but man, you would have been sitting in this trade for a while. You would have been sitting in this, you would have been shaking in your boots here for a while, I think. So every single trade today that I marked would have worked with a 1-to-1 risk reward. Now that is not always the case. It is not always the case. So you need to understand that. It will work a lot of the time. It will. But it's not always the case. And you got to understand what you're getting into if you try that. So, but I will say this, like, you're probably going to have a winning strategy going for 1-to-1. I think you probably will. But you're going to have to back test it. What I would do is every day when you mark up the trades that you were going to take, that's what you would do. That's what you do. You just mark up, okay, where would this have worked if I went for 1-to-1? Start documenting it in real time and putting, like, how often you're getting a loser and how often you're getting a winner if you go for the 1-to-1. And that's how you can track it. And you might, if you find that, like, hey, you only would have had a loser, 10% of the time out of those ones that won for you, maybe it's worth it, right? If it's like 30%, then probably not as worth it. It depends on your win rate. There's a lot of variables. So you're going to have to track that. And your mileage will vary. The problem I think that happens for most people is the psychological component of sitting through the drawdown of it and letting it actually play out and not messing with the trade. A lot of people don't have the self-discipline to just let it play out anyway. So if you're used to going for half the ATR or 1 point or whatever, and now you're trying to switch, you might be a little bit tilted on the discipline side of it. So definitely test it in demo for a while to get the muscle memory cranking on that. That's the way I see it, at least. By the way, everybody, I do have to go soon because I have an important phone call at 9:30. So in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to go in around 15 minutes or a little less so I can give myself like a minute or two before that call. So we only need 5 more likes to hit our stream goal to get a second goal celebration. Can we do it? I think we could. If you're here and you haven't liked it yet, hit the like button so we can get to 20 likes so that we can have a fun little goal celebration. All right, so let's draw a short-term channel. This up channel has played out. It moves up and it gets a close outside a new high right there. But we're back inside this earlier range. You got to wonder here, what are we doing? Is this a new range low down here? Possibly. We don't know yet. So we're just going to be patient. John, if that's a question for me, that's the way I perceived it. I perceived it based on where the stop loss is to go for a 1-to-1. Yeah, because obviously, yeah, like that's the scenario that I think that he was asking about. I don't recommend doing this, by the way. It's not my recommendation. The way I teach the strategy is going for half the ATR for your scalp on about 80% or more of your position and then leaving a runner. All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds. So close. 3 more likes to go. 3 more likes to go. Hold on, what's that? I mean, yeah, you could go for runners still with that. I mean, there's different ways to do it. I think there's different ways to do it. There's a second entry long here. First entry, second entry long, and it is a close outside new low of the channel. But I just think you're longing in no man's land. You're kind of at the EMA, you're kind of near this level. I just don't think it's a super wise choice to long right there. I think that also, like, it's highly possible that that's all we're going to get on that rally and that we end up with some sort of another channel. You wouldn't know for sure at the time if it's going to happen, but there's a first entry, second entry long. Could give a higher low here. Maybe that is a good idea, but it just seems like no man's land if you zoom out here. We're just not really in a spot that makes really much sense to take a long or a short. So, so yeah, that's what I was saying, Sean. I just don't think that it's like, I don't think it's the best spot to take one, to be honest. Like, it is somewhat tempting. It is somewhat tempting, but I just don't think that it's like the best spot. Because we don't know really if we're going to go higher here. We don't know if we want to go lower. Like, we're kind of in like a middle of a big, giant range. If you zoom out and just look at the price action, we're sort of in the middle of everything right now. It's not really a key area. There's not a trend in play. The trends have basically already played out. So it's just a little bit risky, I think, to go either way. Now, a higher low is, you know, if you get a higher low here, that could work. But also, it could just, like, go up and do a, and just, you know, it could fail and turn into a flatter channel here. So it's a really, really weird spot. Not really a spot where I'm looking to do business. If you got more questions, drop them in the chat. Again, if you want to learn more about Freedom Algo, the school community membership, everything there, the 7-day free trial, check it out. It's in the description. It's in the chat. I went over it before, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but definitely check it out. A lot of good stuff going on in there that we've recently adjusted to make it even more just personalized and better. So it's been a really cool thing. All right, let me see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. See if we can get a few more likes here. We're so close. All right. All right, let me check the chat. Sorry, I had to look at something on my other screen. I'm like over here just staring. All right. I think that's nope, nothing there. All right, 2 more likes to go. 2 more likes to go to hit our target, fam. We're at 18. Can we do it? We only need 2 more likes to go to hit our goal because I gotta run in like I only got a couple minutes. And then I gotta go. So, can we get there? Can we get some new members in the school community? Right here. Hopefully we get it would be pretty cool if we get a new free trial to start right while we're on the call. You'll probably hear it when it happens. It makes a sound whenever a new one comes in. So we might hear it if it happens. $20 likes. Go! It's a goal. Thanks everybody for entertaining the goal ceremony. That's 3. That's 3 or 2, I mean. Love it. We haven't had goal celebrations in a while. I'm glad to bring it back. For those of you who are new, just get used to it. Look, I'm a dad, and I like to make cringy dad jokes. So just embrace it, okay? Just embrace it. All right, the second entry long has just kind of gone on a run. So no setup there anyway. I don't think you want to just pick that bottom, though. I don't think it's a smart idea to take that long. Even though it is following the trend line rules, I just think it's risky where it is. Just like I think this is risky. I mean, technically this is, you could look at this like a new low and look at this kind of like a first entry, second entry short, and then a close outside new high, but that's risky too. So it's just how it is. Not a ton of setups, but that's okay. Good start to the week. Good Monday. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you all. So I am going to wrap up here unless there's any more questions. I'll give it like another, maybe like 1 minute just in case any more questions come through in the chat. Otherwise, on YouTube, I'll see the rest of you on Friday for the stream. We'll have our stream on Friday. For everybody in the school community or any possible new members, I'll see you all tomorrow for our stream for the school community only on Zoom. It's all in the calendar. You do your 7-day trial, you can see it in there, and you can join that call tomorrow. Obviously tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can join all those. So that should be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to connecting with everybody and seeing how everybody's doing. Okay. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here again. And I will see everybody on YouTube. I'll see you on Friday. Everybody from the school community, I will see you tomorrow. Or maybe even more today if you have more questions in there. Drop them in. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks, everybody.